Good morning, Summer School Advanced Algebra B. We are going to go back and do a little bit of review of before we left for the fourth quarter so that we can pick it up. Now, just trying to keep things in sequence and keep them kind of in order so that we know what we're doing. This is about quadratic equations and functions. Remember before we left that I said that a quadratic equation creates a parabola. And a parabola may cross the x-axis at two locations. And in this particular section, it was going to be our job to find those intersections of where the parabola intersected with the x-axis. The first way we did that was by factoring. Then we looked a little further at the quadratic equations. Then we learned about complex numbers, completing the square, and then eventually the quadratic formula. All of these techniques help us to find that intersection. Maybe there's two, maybe there's one, maybe there's none. But by the time we're done with these 5 sections, we'll know how to find those answers. So without further ado, let's go ahead and review factoring. We're going to be able to solve quadratic equations eventually, but for today, we're not going to solve, we're going to factor. So we're going to learn how the factoring process, and then we'll be able to solve from there. Okay? First of all, you have to be able to find the common and binomial factors. Common factors. For example, if I put down 12 and 18. What do 12 and 18 share? What's common? And if you look at this, you'll say, well, they both have a 2, they both have a 3, and they both have a 6. That's true. They have all of those numbers in common, not to mention 1, right? Okay, so in this case, we're going to be looking for the greatest common factor. What's the biggest number that they share? And in this case, you'll say 6. So that's what we mean in review by the greatest common factor. And we will be finding that in the quadratic expressions in each term. Well, what's Caldwell mean? Well, let's take a look. On page 259, I'm just using the example from that page. Let's look at this expression. Look at each term individually. What do all 3 terms share? And hopefully you shout it out to yourself or to me, 4. So since they all share 4, I'm going to put that 4 down and divide each term by that 4 to get what's remaining in each term. So 4x squared divided by 4. So think of 4x squared over 4 plus 20x over 4 minus 12 over 4. Just think of it that way. So they'll reduce. So all you have left then is 1x squared, and if you want to write it that 1x squared, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to. It could just be x squared plus 5x minus 3. So that's considered a factored expression because we took everything that was common out before we could work with it. When we get to factoring this by 2 binomials, it's much easier to factor this than it would be this one, because we don't have the 4 in front of the x squared, or in other words, the quadratic term. Okay, looking at our next example, what's common? Look at what's common between the 2. And hopefully you saw that they both have a 3, but they also both share an n. So that can come out as well. That can be factored out. So what's left? Well, remember, we're going to look at 9n squared. Now remember, n squared means n times n, right? Over 3n minus 24n divided by 3n. We're going to factor that out. So as you can see, an n cancels, or in other words, reduces to 1, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So all you have left is 3n on the inside, minus 8, because 3 divides into 24 8 times. Okay? All right, continuing onward. More examples. Can never have too many examples, right? Here's Caldwell's example. Okay, factor the expression. Think of what goes into 15x squared plus 25x plus 100. Can you think of that number? And hopefully I'm hearing shouts and expressions of 5. 5 goes into everything. Notice that, yes, these two share an x, but this one does not have one. Every single term in the expression has to share that particular number or variable. So I'm going to pull out the 5. Again, remember we're dividing. So if I divide the 5 into 15x squared, see, hopefully we don't have to write it down, but I will if you want me to. Okay, I will. Okay, we're going to divide each by 5. So that leaves us with 3x squared plus 5x plus 20. Now it's factored. Okay. On page 259 in your book, we have the quick checks to do. There are further examples of doing the same thing. So let's look at the first one. Everyone sees that okay? 9x squared plus 3x minus 8. Well, you should. It's in your book, right? So what's common between these three? Now, I'm not going to write this part out like I did up here on the example. I'm not going to write all of this. You can do that. But I will talk you through it. So, hopefully we decided that 3 is what's common to go in each one. Now, you might want to write this expression down and put a 3. Maybe I'll cheat a little bit and do this. Does that work? Okay. 9x squared divided by 3 is 3x squared. Plus, if you want, 1x or just x minus 6. That's it. Next one. 7 goes into both. I heard you say that. So it's p squared plus 3. And the last one, be careful. Hopefully you caught the 2, but there's also a w that they both share. So now I'm going to put that 2w underneath. Remember that w squared means w times w. So one of those will reduce. The 2 goes into the 4, so all we have left is 2w. And just check it. 2w times 2w, 4w squared. Okay? Plus 1. That's it. That's how you pull out the common factor. And it's my advice to you to always look for that first, because it does simplify our work later on. What I'll have you do, now that we've taken the notes, is I want you to try page 263, 1 through 6. We'll go over those tomorrow or on Tuesday during our class, which is, I think, at 2 o'clock, right? All right. So that's learning the common factor. Pause here, practice these problems, and then come back. We're going to do one more example and one more set of expressions. The next type of factoring, we just did the greatest common factor. The next type of factoring is factoring by binomials. Our factors will be binomials. What's a binomial, you'll ask? Oh, something like this. That's a binomial. So we'll have 2 sets of those binomials that will be factors of x squared plus 8x plus 7. Okay? That's a binomial. All right, let's take a look. To work these out, just set yourself up with 2 binomials. Ask yourself, what times what is x squared? X times x, right? So we're going to put 1 in each parenthesis. Now the next thing you're going to do is take this number. That's 7. And think to yourself, what are the factors of 7? What times what equals 7? We don't have very many options here. So we only know that it's 7 times 1. Now notice that 7 times 1 is 7, but also 7 plus 1 equals 8, which is our middle term. And you're saying, yeah, but where does the x come from? You already put it down. So in other words, we're going to come over here and we're going to put 7, and we're going to put 1. Now everything's positive to start with. We're not going to throw any gimmicks in there or anything in there to make it difficult. So that expression, x squared plus 8x plus 7, has been factored to x plus 7, x plus 1. You can always check it. I know, you hate to do that, but I don't care. X times x, x squared. X times 1, 1x, positive. 7 times x, 7x. 7 times 1, 7. Combine your like terms. X squared plus 8x plus 7. Okay? And remember, the purpose of this eventually is to find those solutions where that parabola crosses. We're almost there. We're getting the factoring portion of it down so that we can find the solution. Let's do the next one. Okay, put down your parentheses. Oop, get my blue pen. That's okay. What times what is x squared? X times x. Oh, 24 has a few more. So let's go over here and do 24. So think to yourself, what are the factors of 24? And remember, something times something is 24, but that we need to find the set added together that equals 10, and you might already know it. So I'm going to put them all down. 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. All of those are pairs of factors that go into 24. But which one added together is 10? And hopefully you came down here and found, ding, 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 4 times 6, because 4 plus 6 is also 10. So we'll come up here and put plus 4 plus 6. Now if you're not sure, check it. X times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 6 is 24. Combine your like terms and we have x squared plus 10x plus 24, and it worked. You should always be able to figure these out or correct them because they're checkable. Okay, quick check 2 on page 260 carries on. It's got 3 parts, A, B, and C, and that'll be all I'll do for notes today. Okay, here we go. Put down your parentheses. X times x, right? What times what is x squared? Now let's do 8. 1 times 8, 2 times 4. Oops, it was short. And the only two added together are the 2 and 4. So it'll be plus 2 plus 4. You're done. Check it if you wish, but we should be able to see that 2x and 4x is 6x. 2 times 4 is 8. And I know you're thinking, yeah, but what if there are minus signs? What if there's a number in front of the x squared? We're going to figure all that out step by step. For now, we're going to do these. Pardon me. Okay. 2 parentheses. X times x. Factors of 32. 1 times 32. 2 times 16. 4 times 8. Ah, the 4 times 8 works. So it'll be plus 4 plus 8. Not bad, huh? It never is, especially if we break it down. Again, write your questions down. As you're doing these notes along with me from the video, jot your questions down of how did you get that? Or if I did this, would this work? You know, those kinds of things that we can discuss in class tomorrow. One more example. X times x. Now let's look at 40. Oh goodness. 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10, 5 times 8, So which set added together is the 14? And you probably already, because you're going to get pretty good at figuring out what goes into a number that equals the middle one. So we're going to put down plus 4 plus 10. And that's it. That's all I'm going to give you for today as far as notes are concerned. Feel free to use the outline that will be included. If you don't need it, just write your own notes down on your own notebook paper. And come back with the examples done if you can. If you would go to page 263 and do 7 through 12, just add it to your first 1 through 6. That would be great. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.